Fuller, and I chose to read the story Criminal by Elizabeth Strout. I chose to read the story The Criminal out of the book Olivia Kitteridge. There were several characters in this story, but the main character is a girl by the name of Rebecca Brown. Ordinarily, Rebecca never looked like the type of person who would steal things, but after reading the story, people probably looked at her a little differently, at least in Rebecca's eyes. She had been raised not to do a lot of things, and she had done a great many of them with the exception of stealing. She had never done that until one day at the doctor's office in the town of Macy Mills. Rebecca was reading a story in a magazine and wasn't finished until they called her name. She didn't consider taking the magazine to finish reading the story was stealing. As she went on her way, she seemed fine until she heard her father's voice in her head saying how he hated people who steals. The next character is David. He is Rebecca's boyfriend who runs a health club and always works out. This is who Rebecca lived with. He liked flexing to Rebecca and bragging about his muscles, but throughout the story he does good by reassuring Rebecca of her confidence being the name of the game. Another one of Rebecca's confidence boosters is Mrs. Kitteridge. She was Rebecca's math teacher who she could always recall stating to her in the hallway one day, "If you ever need to talk to me about anything, you can." Now back to Rebecca. She often related her relationship with her ex-boyfriend Jace to hers with David's. She had been extremely hurt by Jace and by his new blondie girlfriend. She moved on from Jace to David, but she still thinks of him often. She was trying to get a job at a dentist office, but it didn't